Apple users around the world were waiting for something big, something powerful. The M5 MacBook Pro. But now, there's a change. A big one. Apple has decided to step off the usual path. There won't be an M5 MacBook Pro in 2025. Not even an M5 MacBook Air. Nothing. It's not a rumor anymore. It's a fact. This decision came as a surprise. For years, Apple followed a rhythm. Each year, a new chip, a new machine. M1 in 2021. M2 in early 2023. M3 in late 2024. Naturally, 2025 was expected to be the year of the M5. But that's not happening, so why did Apple pause? Let's unpack everything, one step at a time. For starters, Apple is planning to release the M5 MacBook Pro and M5 MacBook Air in early 2026 instead. A complete shift in timing. This isn't normal for Apple. Yes, there have been delays before. The M2 Pro and M2 Max came a little late in 2023, but skipping a whole year for MacBook Pro updates? That's rare. This move sends a strong message. Apple is planning something much bigger behind the scenes. Let's rewind for a second. Apple has always been consistent. When it comes to product rollouts, they're precise, like clockwork. So, if they're breaking the cycle, something major is in the works. Leaks point to a redesign, a serious one. Think thinner MacBooks, think old displays, think an entirely new internal structure. But here's the thing, that redesign isn't arriving in 2025 either. It's now being linked with two options. Option 1. Apple might release the M5 MacBook Pro in early 2026 and follow it up with a second redesigned model later that same year, possibly powered by the M6 chip. Option 2. Delay the redesign entirely and launch it together with the M6 in 2027. The first option seems odd, but it wouldn't be the first time. In 2023, Apple launched the M2 Pro and M2 Max models in January. Then, just 10 months later, they launched the M3 line. So yes, Apple has dropped two Pro-level updates in 1 year before. Even further back, they released the 16-inch Intel MacBook Pro shortly after updating the 15-inch one. It's not unheard of. So, could we see two MacBook Pro releases in 2026? One with M5, and one with M6. It's definitely possible. But now the big question, should you wait for the M5? Let's be honest, most users don't need it. The M3 and M4 MacBook Pros are already extremely powerful. They handle video editing, 3D work, software development, and more, without breaking a sweat. Unless you're working with 8K footage 3D rendering, or heavy machine learning, you won't feel much difference. The M5 will likely offer a performance boost. It may be more efficient, but for everyday use, that boost might not be worth the wait or the price. And here's where it gets interesting. When the M5 finally launches, the M3 and M4 models will likely drop in price. Apple's refurbished store and third-party sellers will offer deep discounts. So, if you're looking for a powerful machine and don't care about having the newest chip, the best deal might actually be in the older models. But there's one thing that might make the M5 worth the wait: the display. The rumored switch to old displays could change everything. Let's talk about that. OLED screens bring a major upgrade over the current mini LED displays. They're thinner, brighter, more color accurate, and more power efficient. They also offer better contrast and longer lifespans. That's a lot of benefits in one change. And for creative professionals, video editors, photographers, graphic designers, that difference can be a game changer. A brighter, sharper, more accurate screen means better work, less color correction, more confidence in what you see. Plus, old displays can help extend battery life because they use less power, especially when displaying dark content. That's another win. And they allow for slimmer devices. A thinner screen means a thinner lid. Combine that with Apple's silicon and you get a MacBook Pro that's lighter, sleeker, and more efficient than ever before. This brings us to another point: Apple's obsession with thinness. We all remember the MacBook Pro lineup from 2016. The butterfly keyboard, the missing ports, machines that looked good but had problems. Many users still talk about it. Those devices were too thin, and that came at the cost of comfort and reliability. Keyboards broke. Ports disappeared. Thermal throttling made performance inconsistent. Is Apple making that mistake again? Apparently not. This time, they're approaching thinness differently thanks to Apple Silicon. Devices don't need massive fans or heat pipes anymore. These chips run cooler and more efficiently. That means less need for space-hungry cooling systems, and OLED screens, as mentioned, are naturally slimmer. On top of that, Apple is working on new battery technology, silicon-carbon batteries. These can store more energy in smaller cells, which means thinner machines without losing battery life. So this isn't a return-to-form function, it's a smarter design, one that uses better materials, one that uses better chips, one that's thinner, lighter, and still reliable. Apple is learning from the past, that's clear, but there's another twist in the story. Recently, there were reports about a secret MacBook Pro prototype, one with the M3 Ultra chip, a chip that would make the current M4 Macs look slow. This prototype was never released. Why? Probably because of power and heat issues. The M3 Ultra is a powerhouse, but it runs hot. It draws a lot of power. That's fine in a Mac Studio or Mac Pro, but in a laptop, it's tough. Even in a 16-inch body, cooling such a chip is a challenge. Battery life would take a hit. So, Apple decided to hold back. Still, this tells us something important. Apple is testing the waters for a MacBook Pro Ultra, a new tier, like what they did with iPhone Ultra and Watch Ultra. Could we one day see a $10,000 MacBook Pro Ultra? Maybe, and for some creative professionals, it might actually be worth it. For those running complex simulations or high-end film work, the power could justify the price. So, where does that leave the M5? In an awkward place. If it comes out early in 2026 without a redesign, it might feel like a stopgap, just a small update, not a revolution. The real excitement seems to be around the M6, the redesign, the possibility of a new chassis, a MacBook Pro that looks different, feels different, and works even better. If that's true, and if the redesign really is being saved for the M6, then waiting might be the best choice, especially if you're a pro user. But again, if you just need a solid MacBook, and you don't need cutting-edge specs, 2025 could be a great year to buy a discounted M3 or M4 model. Timing matters, and in this case, it's everything. And one last thing. Let's talk about the Touch Bar. Some users loved it, some hated it. It was futuristic, but not very practical. Now, with rumors flying about future MacBook form factors, some are wondering, could the Touch Bar come back? The answer, probably not. Apple seems fully committed to physical function keys. They're reliable, easy to use, preferred by professionals. That's not changing anytime soon. Still, if Apple ever explores foldable laptops or dual-screen MacBooks, we might see something similar. Maybe not a touch bar, but a secondary display. Something interactive. Just don't expect it in the M5 era now. Let's recap. There will be no M5 MacBook Pro or MacBook Air in 2025. Instead, Apple is pushing everything to early 2026. Possibly. Even further, that delay could bring a massive redesign. Old screens, thinner, lighter builds, new battery tech. And maybe, just maybe, a MacBook Pro Ultra. For some users, that wait will be worth it. For others, grabbing a discounted M3 or M4 in 2025 could be the smarter move. Either way, this delay signals a shift. Apple is taking its time, planning its next move carefully, and what's coming could be the most important MacBook Pro update since the original M1. But that's just the beginning.